Hello, welcome back. This is module 12 and we are now ready to work on the nHair human mannequin head simulation. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to have you guys do, we're going to go ahead and open scene, go into head start nHair 1 hair cap. Click on open. Alright, and here is our scene. Alright, so here's our head, here's our cap. So we don't have to do any getting rid of the hair around the face and all that stuff. If we were to do the whole head, that's what would happen. So we're just going to concentrate on the hair on the cap part, and that makes it a little easier for you as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and it looks like we've got a combination here of both of those already. The two poly surfaces that are under this main object here, which works just fine. It's kind of grouped together. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to go in here and select the cap and paint the hair. So I'm going to go ahead and have you guys just go ahead and start that. That's all you have to do. Basically, you're going to tweak out the nHair system. You're going to actually find a reference. So I need you to find a reference of the hairstyle you want to give the character. I will not accept the character with just it sticking straight out. You need to do something with it. So you can do a regular hairstyle. You're not going to be able to do any combing and grooming. So you can do, you'll have limitations on what you can do. But find a reference you want to go ahead and give it a try. And again, you know what you can do, what kind of, there's no styling, but you do have to tweak out the hair system and get everything right for it to work properly. So you'll find a hairstyle, you need to get a reference, and you need to turn that reference into me so I can see it. You can do long hair. You can have this person be a man or a woman, whatever you choose. You can have a long hair. You could have a ponytail if you want to go into that. Again, we're using nHair. We're not using XGen or anything like that. Okay, I realize XGen you can groom the hair and all that stuff, but we're just going to stick with nHair. I want you to be comfortable with that first. And then, of course, if you want to render in Arnold, we talked about that in the last video in part 4, Introduction to nHair, video 4, so check that out if you want to listen to me talk about what you can do with your rendering. Otherwise, you're going to be rendering it in software render. Okay, so you'd be going to the software render and rendering it through that. Okay, alright, so anyway, that's what I need you to do. If you don't know how to start, you just click on this object here and watch the video tutorial 1 over again. If you've forgotten everything, you can go back to Introduction to nHair and start right over part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Takes you through the whole process of adding hair, tweaking out the actual hair itself, the nHair, and the hair system shape node, and takes you through the whole entire series. And again, you'll have to turn in a reference. You'll have to turn in a rest length where you do the simulation of the hair falling down, and you'll do a render. And then you will then rig this character real quick. It won't take long to rig it. But you need to do it after you get all the hair simulation done, so the hair is simulated, and then you will do this. So when it's all done, you can come back to this video and I'll show you how to rig it. So let's go to skeleton, create joints, click on the option box, reset it, and we're going to start right here, the base of the neck, and we're going to go up right between these two right about there, and then we'll go right to the top of the head like that and hit enter. There you go. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That's all you have to do. And then you'll take this part right here, you'll shift select the bottom part, and you'll shift select the top part, and you will go to skin, bind skin, go into the option box. There you go. You want to go to bind skin to geodesic voxel. Okay. And max influence is 5, fall off 0.2, and click bind skin. Okay. Right. And let's see if I can. See if it worked. Yep, it worked. Okay, so that's great. Okay, you'll have to do some weight painting. Okay. So at that point you can select the hair on here. You can hide the hair if you want to. Just select the skin. And what I would suggest that you do is that this joint right here, okay, is going to need to influence both this part and that part. So that's why it's breaking apart. See how it's breaking apart right there? So what you have to do is just select on these two pieces. See if I can get those two pieces to be selected, and go to let's go to skin and paint weights, skin weights. There we go. And you can see that when we click on joint 2 that we have a problem here. Okay, it looks like it's supporting this part. So what you'll have to do is go in here, and it's pretty easy to paint. Hold the B key down as in boy, and we want to add. Okay, and we want to opacity to be pretty high, so let's just go ahead and add that. And we're just gonna paint around here like that. So we want that neck joint to influence this part right here. We don't want any bending or anything weird happening with that. And we'll just go kind of down as far as we can like that. Don't go too much farther than that. I want that to bend together. There we go. Again, I'm using a big brush, but when we get to the neck, we're going to have to kind of smooth that out a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to make that smaller, like that. And I'm also going to go down a little bit in the opacity, probably about 0.5 or something like that. And we'll just go around here, a little bit closer, down underneath the chin, like that. Around the back. And we kind of want to blend those two together. Again, you don't want to do with the hair in there. So there we go. So now I'm going to blend. So I'm going to go to smooth. Okay, and make this a little bit bigger. And again, this is pretty easy, simple stuff. This has to be at 1 for it to smooth properly. And then you just kind of go through there and just kind of smooth into it like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this is just a mannequin. It's not like you're going to have incredible animation with it or anything like that. Now this is still going to break right here because it's not 100%. You can see that. So I'm going to go back in here to add, and let's get that back at 100%. Let's just kind of add that on there. Let's see, add, there we go. Let's make that a little bit smaller. This is still going to break pretty bad right here. This is where the hairline is. It's kind of low. There we go. So we want to make that perfectly white right there. Okay. Alright, so make that a little bit. Let's keep it like that and let's kind of smooth it out and see what we can do with that. And this will need to be, there we go. So let's smooth this out. There we go, that's good. Smooth, smooth. Smooth into the bottom part. And now it should have no problems. Okay, smooth down into the neck here. There we go. Alright, I think that'll work pretty good. Click off of that, hit the Q key. There we go. And let's see what we got now. Let's see here. Here we go. Looks good. Again, it's not perfect, but you can do a kind of a cool little animation. Again, you can smooth that a little bit more, make it look a little bit better if you want to, but you're not going to see that probably with all the hair and all that stuff, but that's good. I think that'll work. Okay, so the animation I kind of want you guys to do when you're all finished, you're going to need about 400 frames, kind of the same thing you did with the ball, right? So just this part right here, and if you think that this part's moving too much, you can go to the bottom one. Let me click on this guy right here and just work on that real quick, just real quick. Skin, paint weights. We're just going to paint that part, and we're going to go to joint 1, which is this one. This one should be at 100%. Okay, we're getting some movement in here, and I'm not sure if that's just something that we need to work on or what's going on, but it's whenever I move this one, it moves this a little bit. We don't want that at all. So we're going to bring that to 100% opacity. We're going to add. Okay, and we're going to make this a little bit bigger, and we're just going to really go through this part. We want this to be totally stationary. We don't want any influence whatsoever on this. Okay, like that. And then, of course, you can just do a smooth, real quick smooth in between these two, just to smooth out some of the rough edges here. And that should do it. And then we're going to click off of here and click on the Q key, Q. And click on this guy right here and move the head around. There we go, much better. There's a little bit going on right there at the very bottom here I missed. You know. Okay, and then time to animate. Let's get that rotated properly. Back to 0. Here we go. Okay, so from the front view, okay, let's go ahead and type in, let's just say 400. Okay. Okay, so from frames 1, let's go ahead and hit the S key. So when you're done with all the hair and your hair looks perfect and you got it styled the way you want it, then we're gonna do the animation. So you can come back to this. So don't do the rigging before you do the hair. Okay, please do not do the rigging before you do the hair. I think I mentioned that. Alright, so let's set a key. Just move it to the side like that a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and go back. We're going to go set it to 60 frames. Move it to the side like that. Set a key. Go to 120. Actually, I don't want to move it right away. I want to keep it right there. So let's set a key at frame 60 and all the way to frame 120. So it has a chance to relax. Set another key. I know you can set an initial state, but let's go in here and let's do 180, and then let's go ahead and do it to the side like that, and turn. And then let's go back to 260, and we'll do the other side and turn. Let's go back a little bit like that with that one. Set. And go to frame 30 and just kind of zero these out again. And set a key. There we go. Right, and then you have an animation. Let's go ahead and get rid of that joint so we can't see it, and play the animation. Okay. And that's really slow. Let's go back in here and see if we can make that a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and, normally I would not do it this way, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going to hold down the shift key, my middle mouse button, drag it over here like that, and then I'm going to, I don't want to move it, I want to compress it down like this. So I'm going to just click on this guy right here and make it faster. So it's okay the way it is right here. I'm just clicking on this arrow, not the middle mouse button. I'm using my left mouse button, bringing it down to something like that so it'll go a little bit faster. I'm going to go ahead and play that again. Just make sure that's okay and see where we're at. Okay. Not too bad. Go a little faster. A little bit faster. That should do it. Okay, that looks good. So basically something like that as far as timing goes. If you don't want to show anything like that, click off here. You can go into show and you can go to joints and turn that off. It'll still do the animation. So now you can see the animation. I just need to play blast with it moving. There we go, like that. And any other animation you want to give me, but at least that I need. So if you want to do more, great. Make sure you get it framed when you do the play blast, something in perspective like that. And then you should have the hair simulated before you do the rigging, and then the animation will be last. Fantastic. That's it. Okay, you get that done, the play blast. That's good. Make sure you give me the just kind of this view, and I want a rendering of the hair that is in its rest position. Okay, so you'll do all your simulation, hair simulation first before you do any of the rigging and animation. Okay, all right, great. Hope you had fun with this particular module, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next module. I'll see you then.